At 72, Margaret thought she had found something she had stopped expecting from life. Not excitement, not adventure, just companionship. 10 weeks later, $271,000 of her retirement savings were gone. And the worst part was this. By the time her family realized what had happened, she still wasn't fully sure he had been lying. This is the story of how a senior-targeted pig butchering scam works, why it feels so real while it's happening, and the warning signs older Americans need to know before trust turns into financial ruin. She had been widowed for years. Her children lived in other states. Most days were quiet, and most evenings were longer than she liked to admit. Then one afternoon, a man she had seen interacting with a Facebook group she followed sent her a message. It looked harmless, polite, calm, a little personal, but not strange. He said he enjoyed her comments. He said she seemed thoughtful. He said it was rare to meet someone online who sounded genuine. At first, there was no money talk. That's what people often misunderstand about scams like this. They imagine a criminal asking for cash right away. But the best scammers don't start with money. They start with attention. He asked Margaret about her life, her late husband, her grandchildren, the town she lived in, the routines that filled her days. He remembered details. He checked in consistently. He never came on too strong. He didn't sound desperate or flashy. He sounded stable. That was part of the design. He said he had worked in engineering. He said he split time between travel and managing investments. He was calm, articulate, and patient. If Margaret took hours to reply, he didn't punish her with silence. He was still there when she came back. That consistency matters more than most people realize, because trust is not built through grand gestures. It is built through repetition, predictability, emotional timing. Within a few weeks, Margaret was talking to him every day. He knew when she was usually awake. He knew when she was lonely. He knew how to sound supportive without sounding obvious. And when he started mentioning money, it didn't feel like a pitch. It felt like concern. He mentioned inflation, taxes, and market uncertainty. Then he casually brought up a strategy he said had helped him grow his money safely. This is where the scam starts to shift. Not from stranger to criminal, but from companion to guide. He didn't ask Margaret to send him money directly. That would have felt suspicious. Instead, he introduced an idea, a platform, a way to make her savings work harder without taking crazy risks. He showed her screenshots, small gains, clean charts. He explained things in simple language. When she hesitated, he didn't push. He waited. And that made her trust him more. Eventually, Margaret agreed to try a small amount, a few $1,000s. At first, it looked like it worked. The account showed growth. The numbers moved. He praised her for being smart enough to act. And once someone believes a system is real, because they've seen a fake success inside it, the next step gets easier. That's one of the cruelest parts of this scam. The early wins are often fake. The platform looks legitimate because it is designed to look legitimate. The growth appears real because it is controlled by the scammers. The victim thinks they are becoming more secure. In reality, they are being slowly led deeper into the trap. Margaret moved more money, then more. Each transfer was framed as a smart move, temporary, controlled, strategic. By the time the balance on the fake platform looked impressive, she wasn't just financially invested, she was emotionally invested too. At one point, Margaret tried to withdraw part of the money. That's usually the moment when the illusion starts to crack. The platform told her there was an issue, a hold, a verification step, a fee. He sounded reassuring. He said it was normal. He said these things happened with larger accounts. He said all she needed to do was clear one more step. That one more step cost her tens of thousands of dollars. Then another. By the time her daughter noticed unusual activity and started asking questions, nearly $271,000 had been transferred out. Margaret's family was stunned, angry, and frightened. Margaret was ashamed, and shame is one of the scammer's greatest allies because shame keeps victims quiet. It makes them defensive. It makes family intervention feel like judgment instead of rescue. When her children tried to explain that the platform was fake, Margaret resisted at first. Not because she was foolish, but because the truth was bigger than the money. Accepting the scam meant losing the future she thought she had been building. So what should viewers take from this? First, if an online relationship becomes emotionally important before it becomes fully verifiable, slow down. Second, if the same person who offers comfort also starts influencing financial decisions, that is a major red flag. Third, any investment platform connected to a personal online relationship should be treated as a danger signal, not an opportunity. Fourth, fake success on a platform does not prove real money is safe. And finally, if someone you love over 60 suddenly becomes private about a new online relationship, don't lead with embarrassment. Lead with patience. Calm questions work better than accusations because these scams are not built on greed. They are built on trust. And trust, once manipulated, can be harder to recover than the money itself. But online scams are not the only way seniors lose their savings. In the next story, the person draining a mother's retirement account was not a stranger on the internet. It was her own son. Watch that next, because family betrayal can be even harder to recognize until it's too late. And if you're watching for yourself or for a parent or grandparent, subscribe to Safe Retirement for more scam warnings and retirement safety stories.